Okay. That was amazing, was it not? It was absolutely beautiful, and we appreciate Ms. Dandridge. And we have something very special coming up for you next. We have something going on with Mr. Gene Mackey. Coming up right next. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Gene Mackey. Okay, come on down. Oh, Gene Mackey, please. Say a word. Oh.
Lights.
I can see. Walking in Dorothy Dandridge's shoes, her final new beginning. This is the last full day of Dorothy Dandridge's life, September 7, 1965. The scene opens with Dorothy returning from a Carmen Jones photo shoot. She is moving around her modest apartment on Fountain Avenue in West Hollywood, the last place she lived before she was found dead on September 8, 1965. Her couch is almost completely covered with luxurious gowns from her extensive collection. Suitcases, robes, coats, sheet music, and scripts are scattered on the floor, and pillows on which she will sometimes be sitting during dialogue and sing her singing numbers. She's happy and upbeat as she gets ready for another beginning. She practices dance steps going through her music charts, choosing and organizing gowns, and packing to leave for her engagement starting in New York on September 10th, which happens to be the gig at the Sheraton and the 2 films she was contracted to do in Mexico. As she goes through the dialogue, including dance numbers, songs, and enactments starting from her life's beginning, her mother's womb, all orchestrated in timeline-like fashion. She wears an off-white silk robe with a leotard under her garment. Her hair is done in a short crop style from the time period of her life when she lived in her apartment in West Hollywood just days before her death. Occasionally, she munches on a fresh bowl of fruit on the end table while she sings, dances, and enacts her life. This is the fourth year of performances that have begun for this musical script, and the songs are written by Wanda Willis. Please have your cell phones turned off. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Just returning from a photo shoot for Carmen Jones. I'm so glad they still remember me for that. And I'm so glad the doctor gave me a needle for my foot. I don't feel offended. I can even spin it, see? Carmen Jones, one of the highlights of my life. You know, I've had many ups and downs in my life, and here I am on another new beginning. I've got all these dresses to sort through and scripts and music to go through. Oh, my life. My life. But let me start at the beginning, my mother's moon. My mother, she left my father, her husband, Cyril Dandridge, when she was 5 months pregnant with me in 1922. Ooh, they fought like oil and water. You see, Mommy wanted to be a performing artist, and she really didn't want any children. Mama lived with her lover, Geneva Williams, who Viv and me had to call Auntie Mama. She took care of us when Mommy was gone. But Viv and me, we spent many nights holding each other and crying ourselves to sleep when Mommy left. I don't know much about my father, except that I was told I had his gentle mannerisms, strong forehead, and large, deep-set eyes. Now, I did get to meet him when I was 16, when he tried to play catch-up with me, and then later, during my life, we talked at length. Oh, he was a nice man. Short, but nice. Now that lady, Auntie Mama, ooh, she hated us. And she would beat Viv and me every day. She even sexually abused me. But yet I still kept smiling and performing while being abused by her. Dottie, I need you to put this water on stage left when I return. And I need this towel on stage right. Dottie this, and Dottie that. Oh, but on stage I had confidence and power. And I just loved it. I loved to sing, act, and dance, and was great at it. Singing and dancing, something I love. Sprinkles from heaven mixed in my blood. Oh, I can sing. Oh, I can dance. I just move my feet just like this fire on the wing. Love to sing my song, and I just begun. I just glow and blossom when I'm dancing, having fun. I fly in gossamer rings. My fly becomes like a drum. My troubles behind me don't matter, as long as I'm on stage with a dance and a song. Love to sing a song. Oh, my mind is free. Watch me sing and watch me dance, and you will smile with me. Love to sing a song, dance and move around. No more scaredy cat, no more this and that. Singing, dancing, I feel free. I feel free. Yes, I love to sing. Oh, let's just sort these dresses out. Oh, which one am I going to take? Well, one day, Mommy came home, and she came into the kitchen where I would always wait so patiently just to take my pointer and thumb, squeeze them around the hem of her dress, and follow her all around the house until she would shrug me off or tell me to stop. Well, this day Mommy came home, and she said she was tired, and she couldn't do her night performing job. You see, Mommy worked for the Social Security in a big old white building downtown. And then at night, he happened to have a job singing. I said, Mommy, I can do it. Ooh, she was shocked. I had all of her dance moves, facial expressions, vocal intonations, everything. Seen a money-making opportunity. Auntie Mama and Mama added bit of me to the act, forming the Wanda Kids. We worked in many churches down south. We performed. Now that's when those men began to notice my beauty and sexuality. They would stare and balk at me as if they wanted to strip. I hated it. I wasn't even a teenager yet. This one is a go. But the stage, on stage I felt safe and secure, and I was free from the turmoil of Auntie Mama that hung over me and permeated my spirits when not performing. Always seeking approval from others. Mama, auntie, mama, and later in my life, my husband's. Yes, I've had two so far. And always seeming to find self-worth unattainable when not performing. But when performing, I stopped, feeling like a lost little bird who didn't know where to land, and a fawn wide-eyed and wondering. You know, maybe I was looking for the love I never had with my mother and father. And then later, during the course of my life, it seemed that just when things were going great and my soul was happy, something would go wrong. I just wanted someone who would love me true. If you do, then I'd be so good to you. All I ask is for your hand, for you to be my man. My love, it has no end. When you smile, I get all giggly inside. When you laugh, oh, I just smile until I cry. If you come to me, my love, I swear by stars above, I'll never break your heart or make you. I'll never break your heart. Let's finish what we started. I'll never break your heart. Don't make me Then in 1929, the four of us, we left to go to Los Angeles. Getting work was hard for Viv and me. They kept telling us we were too light for colored work. But I did get some work in some of the sounds like Easy Street, Paper Doll, and Yes Indeed, among the 8 or 9 I did during that time period. Viv and me, along with our neighbor Etta Jones, we formed the Dandridge Sisters. We joined the 5 rhythmics and worked steadily for 5 years in all of the ultraline boroughs like Long Beach and Santa Ana, Santa Barbara. We made our film debut in the big broadcast of 1936 with Mr. Burns, Gracie Adler, Sunshine Sammy, and Bill Bojangles Robinson. Now, when I traveled to Europe, I felt that freedom again. In Europe, we were treated like people and not a race or a color. Now, you know I'm mixed. My father was Mexican English, and my mother, Ruby Dandridge, she was black. But I never denied my race, and was always very, very positive about my people, even writing letters about the racial inequalities in this country. And I even got to introduce Martin Luther King Jr. at one of his public speaking rallies in 1963 at what he himself said was the largest and most enthusiastic rally he'd seen. Right here in Los Angeles, Wrigley Field, over 60,000 people. Oh, but I so enjoyed being in Europe. You know, where I felt like a person and not just a number. When I traveled to New York, I met Harold Nicholas. He was rehearsing, and When I walked in, I stopped him dead in his tracks. He was really a great dancer. The attraction between us was immediate. Just so you know, both Bayard and Harold were interested, but Harold won. He got the prize. We performed at the Cotton Club with Cab Calloway, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Jigsaw Jackson, Sunshine Sandy, the Benny Bahia Dancers, and the Nicholas Brothers. Harold began to court me. He'd take me out for dinner and for long drives in his beautiful car. Now, I was only in my teens, so Auntie Mama, with her jealous, evil, watchful eye, she would stretch that as long as she could and as far as she could go. Then I broke from the Dandridge sisters, doing a movie, Four Shall Die, and a production of Meet the People. We did a show, a fundraiser, and gave needy children some Christmas gifts. You know, I always wanted more children, and I loved being around all of those beautiful children. You know, I'm only in my 40s, so maybe next year. I performed at the Orpheus Theater with the Floyd Ray Orchestra and the Rayettes, and at the Cafe It. In 1941, I was in a movie with John Wayne, no less. And then, in 1941, I was in Sun Valley Serenade, the Nicholas Brothers. Oh, I was over the moon, singing and tap dancing in a movie with them, in a movie with the Nicholas Brothers. Pardon me, boys, is this the Chattanooga Choo-Choo? Track 29. I had roles in 5 films in 1941 and a string of performance engagements. Harold, he continued to court me. And we'd end up in hot kisses and embraces. And yes, one more right here, Harold. Oh, yes, sweetie. And right here, please. Ooh. And we decided to get married before it got out of hand. Auntie Mama and Mama were thrilled. Married now. Auntie Mama, she couldn't touch me with those eyes. I was free. How happy we will be, 'cause this man, he loves me. And I love him, he makes me spin and laugh out loud in glee. How happy we will be, I hope that he can see that love is all, love is pure, love can open any door. This is my dream place to be. When he looks in my eyes, all I do is smile. Then he holds me tight, and ooh, 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 that's good for a while. How happy we will be. Da 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 da. I love this color. Da 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 da. Holds me tight, and ooh, ooh, that's good for a while. How happy we will be. Oh, I love you, Harold. Woo! Woo! Oh. But on my wedding night, I had so much trouble. It was my first time with the man, and I was very, very young. Harold was trying to make love to his new bride, but I just couldn't. I kept seeing Auntie Mama and remembering her eyes and her taping and tying my breast down and inspecting me. You see, I went out with some friends, and there was a young man in the group, and she was so sure I had done something. Oh no, Auntie Mama, no, please. Mommy, where are you, Mommy? Harold was trying to consummate our marriage, but was faced with a woman with no experience, a woman with traumatic sexual experiences. Finally, frustrated, Harold turned his back to me while I lay sobbing quietly. Harold's turning away grew more, and he turned away from our home on Arlington Avenue in an almost all-white residential area in Los Angeles. Parties and golf games became his main objective. Sometimes he wouldn't come home until very, very late at night or early in the morning. But he always came home. Always, eventually. Now he goes, I'm missing him. I sniff his clothes, I'm missing him. Then I hear the key in the door. I know he's home again for me. I don't know what I'd do if he left me. I might just die on my chair. But when he comes home, he comes home to see me, I still think our love is here. He can't leave me. No, he can't leave me. I might die right here on this chair. But when he comes home, he comes home to see me. I still think our love is here. I still think our love is here. became very, very close with my sister-in-law, Jerry. After a car accident put me in the hospital with the, I love this color, with the back injury. Ooh, she was smart as a whip. And unlike me, she knew where to tell people where they could go if they were causing trouble for her. She was also very intelligent about black issues. So with me not finishing my high school at Jefferson High, and my fantastic memory, I soaked up information from her like a little sponge. And I also felt so much better after I talked to her about Harold and I's problems. Then in March of 1942, I found out I was pregnant. I was so happy. We both were happy for a while. On September 1st, I woke in great pain, convinced the baby was coming, but Harold was so sure it was a false alarm, and he, after quieting me down on the phone with Ruby, he took me to Jerry's house, and then he left to go play golf, and his friends picked him up. But not before getting a good scolding from Jerry, who was angry he would leave his wife, knowing the baby might come at any moment. And I kept thinking, oh no, he won't do that. He won't leave his wife knowing the baby might come. Well, my contractions, they kept getting worse. And Jerry and her sister Rose, they tried to get me to the hospital sooner, but I wanted to wait on Harold. This was our first baby, and I wanted my husband to be there for the birth of our child. So we waited. But when my waterbed broke, we left to go to the hospital. I was calling for Harold. Harold, where are you? You should be here. The baby's coming. Insides were just coming apart. Where are you? It took us a little less than an hour to get a car. And when we got there, it was another wait. Delivery of my daughter was horrible. They had to use those forceps to help her to come, and those scars served as a constant reminder to me. Finally, Harold arrived on September 2nd, 1942, at 2:42 a.m. Harold got there a little less than an hour after she was born. Oh, but it was such a joy to finally hold my baby in my arms for the first time. And when we left that hospital, those blue skies were just glistening by us. Friends, neighbors, and family members came by to see my beautiful, beautiful daughter. She was perfect, gorgeous. But then, in 1945, I really began to worry about Lynn's behavior. She would scream and cry all day long. No matter what I did, I tried different linens, different lighting. Nothing worked. When the Nicholas brothers were on tour, I took Lynn to see many, many doctors. And these visits would usually end up with me sitting in the chair, crying my eyes out. And Lynn, she would sit or stand with her beautiful wide-eyed stare. And then she would start making, those noises that they make. Finally, the doctor told me that my daughter would never reach beyond the mentality of a 3-year-old child. Cry, cry, scream all day long. And my daughter, she never spoke. Not one word. Can you imagine that? To never hear your child speak or say the word, Mama or Dad. Well, Harold couldn't deal with it, and he threw himself into his work and other women. My sadness was really getting to me, and I flew to Europe to be with Harold. I remember Jerry and we walked into the restaurant where Harold was having lunch with friends, and he didn't even acknowledge us. We were nobody to him. If I could, I would have stomped my feet through that floor. Yes, I took some pills. But Jerry, she found me and rushed me to the hospital. Oh, Jerry, I don't know where I'd be without you. Finally, I realized my marriage to Harold had crumbled to nothing, and I had to leave him. But I had to tell myself over and over, Dorothy, get out. Get out. You've got to get out. Over and over. I so wanted him to be my forever person. The divorce wasn't final until years later, after I had exhausted all chances of a reconciliation with Harold. When you love a man, he can't do no wrong. Oh, no, he can't. And their sun rises and sets in his eyes. And you wake up thinking you're his only queen. You'll see when you love a man. During the separation from Harold, which began in 1948, I began taking acting lessons at the Studio Lab. Now, they were considered communists for taking in students like myself. Anyone was who was involved in any civil rights activities. Even I was blacklisted. I was at an event where there were some civil rights leaders present, and I got up and sang some songs. But a sophisticated and stern letter from Selznick at 20th Century Fox squashed those rumors that were spreading throughout the community. Now, at the Actors Lab, I met and became close friends with Marilyn Monroe. She and I were just like sisters, and we did tons of fun things together. Now Marilyn was a little lightheaded, but smart, and had great power in the industry. They made lots of money off her back. She even started her own production company. I continued my relationship with Phil Moore, and I began to work. And that's been my sex symbol. Started to emerge with singing at the Macombo, the Biltmore, the Hilton, the Flamingo, in places in Los Angeles, New York, and Las Vegas. My career took an upturn when I met Earl Mills at one of Fillmore's Sunday musicals at his home. You know, he would have these wonderful Sunday musicals where he had a large, grand, brown wooden piano, and people would do skits, and people would play instruments and sing and dance, and champagne would be flowing, and hors d'oeuvres would be flowing. Oh, such a happy time. You know, when I'm back on my feet, I'm going to buy my house and have events like that at my place. Oh, such a happy time. Well, Earl Mills, he heard me sing and decided to manage my career. Then I began to work even more. Oh, the Macombo, some more nights. Everywhere I was working and working and working. I had just finished Harlem Globetrotters, Tarzan's Peril, and then later Bright Road. Now, Bright Road was one of my favorite films to do. I loved being around those beautiful, beautiful children. And at that time, they were around the same age that Lynn was. And Harry Belafonte, he wasn't too hard on the eyes either. Loved that film. Then I continued working in clubs. You know, I would have loved to have done more than the 41 films that I've done, but there were none for women like me who didn't want to play the slave roles and the slapstick comedy they were throwing at our way. I got various dresses, Oh, this one is beautiful, but this one, I think I have to try this on because the last time I had this on, it was a little bit snug. So let's see what this one looks like. I hope it fits. Now, then I heard about the actor Otto Preminger directing and producing the film Carmen Jones with an all-black cast. The first of its kind to be done in, I think it fits, in brilliant Technicolor. Getting this leading role was a pivotal point in my career. By now, 1954, the industry still had not created dramatic roles for black actresses. I was going to change that, and the time was now. Let's see if I can fit this. Yes. Woo. For my next appointment with Otto, I sashayed into his office in a sultry outfit. I had to do 2 auditions with Otto. I didn't make it on the first one, but then I went to Max Factor and got a special makeup job done and a special wig, a nice sassy wig. Oh, it fits. I sashayed into his office in a sultry outfit, and a short, sassy wig. Otto's jaw dropped. I got the part! Here I shine again, ready to take that vow. Of all the times I needed strength, I had enough. Here I shine again, signing my name on the line. Been down a bit, but now I'm ready to shine. Was down in the dungeons, left all alone in the dark. But now I've risen, this song I sing from my heart. Here I shine again, after the gloom is through. I shine, I'm coming back. My heart is full of love and that. I'm shining like I always knew I could shine. I could shine for you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Remember that the time is now. Yes! Oh! Carmen Jones. Oh, Carmen Jones' production began in April of 1954. You know, April, the time of new beginnings. Also in April, Peter Lawford married Patricia Kennedy. So that meant our secret love affair was over. You know, we truly loved each other and wanted to be married, but in this racist society, we could not marry and succeed in our careers. Then I began to hear the rumors spreading throughout our community about a black woman portraying this sultry, seductive Carmen role. And then jealousy from others, and I just got so stressed. I stayed in my apartment. But one visit from Otto and encouraging words from Earl Mills convinced me to continue with the film. And Otto and I's professional friendship turned into love and a long relationship. He gave me everything I needed. Clothes, money, and love. He had 2 taboos, though. He was white and married. Yes. And even with the negative vibes I kept getting from my sister Vivian, I still always thought we would be married. He even bought me a home on Avenue Drive, where I entertained with many, many distinguished guests. But I had to keep it a secret. Blow out the candles so no one will know who's been kissing me. Darling dear. Oh. Carmen Jones led to me being the first black actress to get a full contract with Fox, starting at $75,000 a film, escalating to $125,000 per film. Carmen Jones also led to me being the first black actress to be in the cover of Life magazine in 1954. Photographers were shooting me. And I love this one. Definitely, yes. My favorite color. Photographers were shooting me everywhere, professional photographers. I was on the cover of magazines, Life, Paris Match, Cosmo. They were shooting me everywhere. Dorothy is in Spain. Dorothy is in Canada. Dorothy is in London. Dorothy this, Dorothy this. They just couldn't keep their eyes off me. Each time I walk their way, their eyes begin to say, there goes the girl who shows the world just how to get her way. Oh, such a wonderful feeling. Oh, this is so appealing to have them see me now and have them take a bow, because they all adore me and can't seem to ignore me. When I walk through the town, there's a sparkle in the air. So please, don't you bore me. Good things coming for me. Whenever I'm near, that's where it's at. Yes! Woo! Carmen Jones also led to me being the first black actress nominated for an award in a leading role. Oh, I was on top of the world. Nothing was gonna stop me. Then I turned down the role in The King and I at Otto's request, and I also didn't want to play the part of a slave. We were trying to get away from us playing those kinds of roles. No films came my way until 1957, Island in the Sun. And oh, such a stressful time for me. I became the first black actress to star in a film with a white male leading partner. But because of the racism in this country, we couldn't even kiss. Only light touching. Many projects ended in dead-end deals. Projects like remake of Barbara de Seville, Blue Orpheus, all a part of Otto's promised work film. Otto and I parted, but not before me getting pregnant and having an abortion. I didn't want to keep his child. He wasn't marrying me. Such a horrible time for me. And then I did Porgy and Bess, and with Otto being the director by default, It was another horrible experience. He would scream and shout directions at the actors. He physically and verbally abused me on set. Now, I remember leaving the set after filming the rape scene with Brock Peters, and I had black and blue bruises all on my arms because of his pulling and pushing me. I would throw up every time I went to work, but I made it through and played best, even getting a Golden Globe Award nomination for my portrayal. Then it was back to performing in clubs. The Biltmore, the Hilton, the Riviera, the same hotel that emptied their pool, fearful that me, a black woman, would swim in it. Now, I have to admit, I did call the front desk. Hi, it's very hot. Don't you think a dip in the pool would be wonderful? And let them know how hot I was. That's where I met Maitre d', Jack Dennison. Ooh, he was a handsome, gray Greek man with all the smoothness and charm. He charmed his way into my heart with his splendid looks and wonderful, wonderful, wonderful grammar. I guess he did own up to his hidden intentions, which were to use me and my money. Now, I was making great money before we married in 1959. I even gave him money to open up a restaurant on Sunset Boulevard before we got married. Once married, he proceeded to run me into the ground financially, emotionally, and physically. Our home, oh no, my home that I purchased on View Site was a war zone with 2 enemies in it. He was extremely abusive, even causing me grave bodily harm and putting me in the hospital at one point. I ordered a restraining order on him, and he was forced to leave my house. And the divorce was final 1 year later, in 1961. Oh, he, of course, continued to try to see me and get money by messages via dear friend Herb Jeffries. But I never would speak to him or talk to him again. This, of course, stopped when he found out I was broke. Oh, yes, I had to file for bankruptcy in 1962 and move from my house. I mean, that house I practically built from the ground up, designed it just the way I wanted it. The den where I could study and read and listen to albums, all the way to the top floor, the master bedroom with a splendid view of all the other houses in the city, and a beautiful balcony where you could go and eat or fight, like Jack and I do. Well, I had to leave my home and move to a smaller home on Norman Place. And through all of this, my dear friend Jerry was right there by my side. Also in 62, my dear friend Marilyn Monroe, she was found dead. She told me she wanted to go alone. Here it is, 65, and I still miss my Marilyn. You know, her and I were alike in many ways. We both were sexually abused as children. We both were always trying to find self-worth. We both achieved great success in the industry, in recordings and film, but she, of course, had more clout due to the racism in this country. But I was the first female industry professional, black or white, to make $300,000 per year in 1959. Oh no, I didn't let my breakup with Otto stop me. I kept on working. Then, in 1962 as well, Helen Calhoun, who had been taking care of my daughter Lynn, he sent her back to me on the train. I was happy. My baby was coming home. I remember Lynn and we went to the train station at 2 a.m. to pick Lynn up. But I couldn't handle Lynn. She had this strong power and determination. And she would play the piano one note all day long. It nearly drove me crazy. Finally, Jerry and her legal friends, they helped me to take care of Lynn. Now, I remember in the courtroom, I went out to get some water, and my legs just collapsed beneath me. They had to hold me up by my arms to get me standing again. And I was so ashamed when they sent my Lynn, my only daughter, to the Camarillo Institution of California. Oh, that place with its immaculately manicured lawns and bright yellow, red, and orange flowers. But trust me, inside it was a dungeon. I would throw up every time I went to see her. I tried my best. Lynn, Mommy's here. Mommy's here, Lynn. I'm here for you now, Lynn. Lynn, please see me. My Lynn. Oh, my Lynn. Mommy's here. My daughter didn't even know I existed. I failed again. I failed with my marriage. And now I failed with my Lynn. Oh, Lynn. Then in 1964, I bounced back. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Tokyo. I was working again. I was working and performing again. But every penny I made went to the IRS. My lawyers fought for my case, and eventually they won, and convinced them that I was ill and broke, so they put me in the debt file. Then an oil well drilling scam left me nearly penniless, and I had more debts that I couldn't pay. I was so alone and hurt, but something inside of me kept me going. I performed in Las Vegas, and I made it through the gig at the Flamingo and returned to Los Angeles. Then I did a showboat presentation with pretty good reviews, but with no money and no more work, I did my first autobiography, Everything and Nothing. But then I had to move to a smaller apartment that I could afford on Fountain Avenue. Now, Marilyn Monroe had lived here before, and she and I would spend many Sunday afternoons sitting on the outside steps and talking about our loves and lives and all of the little babies we would have, especially me. But I began to get depressed with no work. And I drank and I took pills. And the prescriptions prescribed Profenil gave me a puffy face and body. I looked terrible. And people began to worry about me. Especially Earl Mills. He had his own key, so he could check up on me whenever he wanted to. Especially when Mommy asked him to, because people would call her on the phone and let her know if they saw me schlongering on the sidewalk and begging the bands to get up and sing. But you know, when I got on that stage, I could feel that liquid sunshine just cruising through my veins. Ooh, and I still had that little mood that everybody likes. Nicholas, the Nicholas brothers, Bayard and Harold. They came by to see me. I said, come over for a drink. Otto came by. He just stared. He wouldn't even touch me. You know, I could have gotten money from him, but I didn't want nothing. I hoped that he and Jack Dennison would see me and see what they did. That Jack forcing me to work in his restaurant night after night, and every night and day I stepped on that stage, my value in film went down, down, down. And you, Otto, Zanuck waited for me to take the part, and you kept telling me not to take it. Your career accelerated and I lost mine. I should never have listened to you. I was such a fool. I was such a fool. What a fool I was. Oh, what a fool I was to listen to your words. What a lame excuse of a mind I had. When you talked, my whole body went to mush. Oh, how did I get so lost in you? You made me forget who I am. Oh, what a fool I was to love you. Now I see just what a fool I am. Then I bounced back in 1965. Yes, Joe Glasser, who was determined to rebuild my career, got me a gig at the New York club Basin Street East that was to start on September 10th, the beginning of a long engagement. I continued taking dance classes and exercise classes to prepare for the lineup of shows I was getting. And my manager, Earl Mills, he got me a gig in the carnival room of the Sheraton Hotel. And I also went out for auditions for commercials and speaking parts for films. Now, I remember at a commercial audition, I bumped into Michelle. I remember holding her by the sides of her face and giving her a kiss good luck. You know, I always tried to help my friends in the industry. Always. And I never wished ill on anyone. But they always wished ill on me. I helped Billie Holiday quite a lot. She and I were close friends. You know, when the cops were hot on her trail, she'd stay with me at my apartment, and I literally spoon-feed Billie. Yes. And give her money and dresses and clothes to wear. But you know, Billie, she didn't even know what was going on. I always tried to help. In a few days, things began to look even better. Through my manager, Earl Mills, I was contracted to star in a film in Mexico. $50,000. Contracts were signed. I started. T's crossed. Another new beginning for me. while working out at the gym, I tripped going down the stairs. And on the trip to Mexico, the pain persisted. I saw a doctor there after meeting with producers and directors there, and she x-rayed it and found a tiny bone fracture right here on my right foot, and advised me to get a cast put on it as soon as I returned to the U.S. Once in the U.S., this was confirmed by the specialist, and I was set to get the cast put on it. The doctor said I'd be dancing on my foot within 24 hours of getting the cast. And guess what? While meeting with the producers and directors about the one film in Mexico, they upped the ante from 1 to 2 films at $50,000 each. Oh! Harold is coming very soon. He's coming tomorrow morning, early in the morning. So I've got to get this music together and get ready to go, because he'll be here very soon. He'll be here early in the morning. Oh, those dresses. I really want to take this one. I love this one. This is special. Definitely going to take this one here. Okay. And now I'm going to... Here's the sack. Oh. I heard Earl. I heard him knocking on my door. But he had his own key, so he shouldn't have any trouble getting in. And I didn't put that chain lock on my door. Who used a chain lock on Fountain Avenue in 1965? I didn't. Then I heard Earl come back, and this time he busted my door open with the tire iron and was running through my apartment, calling me, "Dorothy, where are you, Dorothy? Dorothy, oh, Dorothy." Then he stopped and was saying, "My angel face, over and over." But I didn't wake up. You know, I visited Jerry in a dream, and she looked up at me and she said, "Dottie, are you sure you're okay, sweetheart?" I looked down at her and smiled and said, "Oh, Jerry, absolutely. You see, Jerry, up here, there's nothing for me to cry about." Singing and dancing, something I love, sprinkles from heaven, mixed in my blood. Here I shine again, after the gloom is through. I shine, I'm coming back. My heart is full of love and that. I'm shining like I always you. I could shine for you and you and you and you and you. Remember that the time is now. Yes! The time is now. Oh, thank you. And pianist, Stuart Elster.